Hello, this is Martha. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you all are here. I'm super excited to share the little page that I put together for us to do today. It is several pages, so I think we counted 4. So the frame page around the edge, the background, and then we use 2 pages for this gorgeous little basket is what we have here. I set this up a little bit different, so I hope you enjoy it. This is going to be a cluster here that we put together. And then on the inside, you see we have this little cute little basket, just like that. And then the back is a pocket to put all these lovely little tags in. Looks just wonderful. Here is just as you can see it easier with that. And then you can see that we put the little tags here together. Start making some scrapbook pages. So I am madly in love with the Lillian paper. I'm loving all this fabulous purple. I wanted to show you what I was doing. This purple is from the Happy collection. This is a Lillian collection, and I kind of wanted to show you my process. So this is a 1/2 inch. I had to say 1/4. I'm sorry. This is a 1/2 inch frame all the way around. I have a little video on how to do that. I decided I was going to use this paper, keep going with that, and not use the purple, the pink. Okay, so here is the beautiful purple vine, little dot vine from Happy. Okay, and then this is one that's double-sided from our Griffin Lillian collection. Okay, so the way I wanted to do this is I wanted these vines going in somewhat of a vertical direction. And now I have a little tiny dot here that I'm trying to hide. And I like this little stripes because I like the pink and the green showing up. And then I have 2 papers here that I have scored at the 6 inch, okay? So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, papers using this, okay? So my top paper, I'm gonna do a basket, little basket type of little book in front of this. So I have, and I scored at 6 inches. Okay, it is scored at the 6 inch. That's where this one is. And I kind of looked at what page or what side I wanted it to fold at. Here's the little paper, flowers going up. So I'm thinking that's the correct side, but I'm not a florist. I really don't know. And I kind of like this one also, but the bigger flower is calling my name more, so I think I like this one for the front and then the back. Okay, and then since this is going to be the inside, I'm going to turn it into a little booklet. So I did a second score right here. So there's let's make sure, I'm thinking that's a 1/4. That is a 1/4 inch score. So I have a 6 scored. And then you go a little tiny 1/4 and you score again. Now I'll show you how that goes. Now this little booklet is going to start in here, just like that, okay? It's going to fit inside, so it's a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go and take a little slither off the edge because it's going to be an inside piece. What I'm doing is just taking off a little bit smaller than a 1/4 on each spot. Now you can see the inside. Okay. And you can see that that is even. And when it fits inside its little book, it's not going to be showing. Before it was kind of showing or popping out, okay? Now hold on to those lovely scraps because maybe we make a valance with that, a trellis with that later, right? Okay, so far we have used our paper trimmer, a scoring tool, and what this is going to be is this is going to be my little basket. And I'm not a big person on numbers. I just kind of look and see how much I want to take off. I use pencil. I kind of eyeball it a lot. I am a perfectionist, but I am trying to heal myself from that horrific problem for myself. So if I'm looking at this being down, okay? And then a 1/4 inch around. So you want a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch here. So I'm thinking I want another 1/4 inch over here. So I'm thinking that's what I want to cut off. But then my flowers are going to be weird. So I'm just going to draw right there how much I want to cut off, okay? And that's about almost 2 inches. So that means I want to take 1 inch off of each side because I don't want my print to be off center. I want it to be right in the center. Okay, so I'm going to therefore cut 1 inch on each side. Is what the pattern is. So now if I have this in here and I have my little basket right there, my center, or what I think my center is still correct with my pattern. You see that? If I would have just cut 2 inches off, then my little flowers would have been all cockeyed. This type of pattern paper, that's what happens. So I want to do the same thing with this one. Although you can't really tell so much, I'm still going to do the same thing. Okay, so here we have that with that. Okay, so now I want to make sure that my little basket is going to fit inside. Okay, they're not sticking out. They might be sticking out later, but we're pretty much right on it, okay? So if I'm saying that this is gonna be a little basket that goes inside, kind of like a little purse, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go in 1 inch on each side at the crease. So now we're gonna do 1 inch at the crease. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting down and I'm gonna do 1.5 inches, and I'm trying to use the same ruler over and over so that I don't mess up. Okay, so that's 1.5 inches, and right here is my mark. And then we're gonna go 1.5 inches on this side. I'm going to center my mark with the triangle that's up here, or the edge of this right here. So I'm going to cut without even measuring and looking more than once. How about that? Take that. Okay, and we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. Okay, so now you are centering. You are centering right here, and then you are centering the triangle on the cutting edge of your trimmer. So I've got the corner here, and I've got a corner right here. And then I'm bringing down my little edge, and then I'm just going for it. How about that? Hold on to your little edges, because you know what we're going to make? We're going to make gorgeous rancilla flowers. And then the pencil mark that I kind of made a little bit too much, too strong there. Should have been lighter, but it's okay. So now you can start to see that my little basket of flowers is kind of looking more and more like a basket, right? Okay, so we're going to do the same exact thing to the inside. Remember that this one has a front and a back because it has that little crease, okay? I'll talk to you about that crease in a minute. And I am marking and marking, and I'm using the basket that we already cut as a template. Okay, now we have our markings. And this time when you do this, you want to make sure your mark is on the inside of where you're going to cut. Okay, we have the cutting edge here and the cutting edge here, and we want to be a little smidgen smaller because this is an inside piece. And if you were bigger, it would be sticking out of your little purse or basket. I'm sorry, I'm calling it a purse. Let's measure again, because the carpenters say you're supposed to measure twice, cut once. You open it up. You're right there. You see my little pencil mark. This one right on the inside, because you want to see the outside right there. So much for eyeballing things, right? Here is my pencil mark. Here is my pencil mark. Now what I was trying to say is, you see that this pencil mark is on the outside. So when you put it on your paper trimmer, you want your blade to be on the inside. So there we go. You see that? So we marked our paper, and then the inside, it should always be smaller. And yes, I'm erasing it off my scrap because my scrap is probably going to be something beautiful later. There we go. Now this is the inside basket. This is the outside basket. Purse, tote, I'm not sure what we want to call it yet. I'm calling it a basket. You know what's going to happen. Right here. Look at that beautifulness. Okay, so then this is going to open, and then this is going to open. And then the next one is going to open. And right here is where we're going to put our tape, glue, to go down into that spot. And then this one is going to open this way. And this one I want to keep down, and I want to turn this one into a little pocket. So if this one's going to be a slight little pocket right there. Gosh, I love that paper so much. I am now put my little baskets, purse, my flower basket here, one inside the other, fold right here, and then this is going to go down into this part. And let's go for it. This is now going to go on inside my basket. And I kind of fold these little tags up, and I put it inside my little basket, giving a little room for the score to be in there, but I'm sitting inside of my basket because I left little pieces. I made the cuts a little bit smaller. So I'm down on these two corners, and then I'm going to pull this out gently so that we can get down on that little piece. Okay, so now what I found out when I was building this, that I'm fascinatedly in love with this paper. So when I pull this out, I love, love, love it. So I love this one also, but I'm kind of telling myself that I want to cut it here and flip this around, and this is going to be the pockets. And we're going to put it down right here. We are cutting it right under. As close, but not too close to the fold or the seam. Okay, now this is going to be our pocket, and we're going to turn it around so that I love this side. I love this side. So this is going to be a pocket. I want to make it a little bit bigger, so I'm going to add a little hinge to it. We have our little extra strips. This is the same color. So I'm cutting this little corner off. So now we have two pieces of 1 inch. Okay, so there is the 1 inch mark, and I'm going to move it over just a tiny bit. So let's say we're going to fold it, put the crease in right into the quarter. Okay, and then we're going to crease it again in just a smidgen of a quarter. So now when we have to go for the whole 1/4 inch, I think that's going to be better. So once I crease my first one, I'm going to crease it. Here's my crease, and then I'm going a whole 1/4 because I just didn't feel that was big enough. Because that little space, the back of the basket, is going to be your pocket. You can put tons of mats in there. You can put more flowers in there. Once we're giving ourselves a hinge, then let's get a hinge. What do you think about that? Now we have a quarter, and we have a tiny little one going in the middle, and it's kind of pressing it in. So we have a tiny little letter M. Do you see that? Okay. I think that's going to work. That's just a little bit of an accordion fold, and then that's going to be our pocket. Then this one is going to be glued in like that down to the bottom. We might have to do it this way so that we don't see outside. Okay, let's do the next one. Creasing at a quarter, and then I'm just moving in a smidgen more. You can say that's another 1/8. I apologize, my math skills are limited. And then we're gonna go over again, and we're gonna do another 1/8. So what I'm hoping is that there's a whole quarter in the middle. Okay. Quarter and quarter on each side. We're gonna fold those down. Those are our quarters. You can see that, a quarter on each side. And then this one is going to go in. That is what we are doing as our hinges. So, okay, those are our little accordions. Is that not fabulous or what? Okay, a quarter, quarter, and a quarter in the middle, and then you get an 1/8 in between. Trying to see if you can see that. Okay, now those are going to be our back of our baskets. Those are going to be the hinge system to hold up to the back. This love this. I hope you guys got some from the Scrap Shack. I talked about that earlier. That is my what I call my local store, my local scrapbook boutique. There's not very many scrapbook boutiques. This is the Tim Holtz scissors that I picked up when I was there the other day. Right there. That's just so that you can't see my hinge system. You see how we kind of just barely cut off a little piece. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to cut off a little piece. Nobody wants to see hems, seams. Okay, so now remember, this is the outside, so this part is the inside of the pocket. This is art glitter that I have inside this container with this extra detailed needle. I absolutely love it because it comes with this top that has the needle inside of it, so you don't have to be searching for the needle that goes inside, and it's always ready to go. This one. Then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. There we go. So now we're going to do the same thing. Putting the wet glue down. And then that way I can really move it and maneuver it to where I want it to go. I love score tape, but man, when you put it down, that baby ain't ever coming up. Now, that's very important for things that you don't want to come up. But, okay, so there's that part. So now we've decided that our, again, this glue, this cord. Okay, so here we have our base page, our little trim. Here's going to be our basket. We're going to glue it down this way. Okay, there's definitely going to be some magnets involved in this to keep everything holding down. This is the page going up, page going up, page is going to be glued down and going up. And then this one is going to be right sitting smack next to this one. And this is going to be the pocket that holds down. So I kind of think that this one should have one of those little circle cutout. Okay. This is what I'm talking about, 1-inch punch. And that way it kind of has that library look to it. Cuts out half of it. So that's all you cut off. I'm still kind of thinking if I want to put something on this bottom, a little accordion, but I don't think so. I want it to be just an accordion for the sides and this part nice and fixed. Therefore, this bottom piece is going to need to have some really good score tape. Cut this little piece off right here so that it's not involved in the score tape. It's just part of the accordion going up. Did you see how I did that? Okay, so score tape. And this is the pocket of this page. So it needs to be really, really nice and strong. Okay, so let's build our page now. Bottom page. I like the vines kind of going up vertical. This is the pocket page. Gonna go down there. This is the top of the pocket page. This is the part that's gonna go down. I need really good tape for this. Is a quarter going to be too much? I think yes. So we need to do, this is the quarter. The inch, the ½ inch would be too big. I'm taking this little piece off. And there's where I'm building it at. You see how this little inside pocket page now fits on the inside of this. And I think that is just fabulous. So now while we were working, we have this gorgeous paper here that's going to be our frame. And we're thinking that this is our little basket. Here's going to put the most beautiful ruffle. We have a little ruffle on the inside. So I have seen some of the edging paper. Is this not beautiful? Oh. So I'm going to cut 1 inch because I just want a little peekaboo for the ruffle. Now, mind you, this is cardstock weight paper. It is not text paper. I think I need at least 2 of them. So I'm going to cut 2 of them into. First rule with ruffles, it's way easier to maneuver when they're already all glued together. So we are going to glue these together. We are gluing the paper. Now I think this would be really darling if we have this little edging poking out. Of course, this other side would be cute also, but I think that would be really cute if that was poking out. And the little ruffle is gonna come out on this side, and then you're also gonna see it on this side. These flowers, these. When we have our ruffle ready, we want our ruffle and we want 2 pencils. That's what I use. Here we go. And we are going to try to keep this paper straight right on the edge of the ½ inch tape. So we're trying to do that. I'm gonna start a little bit outside since we have a little bit of a little triangle here, a little angle. I'm gonna start a little bit outside and see how that works. I am not sure how that's gonna work, but let's try it. The other thing I have is I wanted some little ribbons for the basket, and what I have here is flat irons, but I use my flat iron to iron my ribbons before I glue them down. So I kind of thought I picked out some ribbon for this project, and I kind of thought I liked that. But it's what is that ribbon called? that is very thin and wrinkles up, and I love it when it looks wrinkled up, but for this project I needed it to do something else. So I am flat ironing my ribbon instead of ironing it. Oh, I don't know what you want to call this, priming the paper, rolling the paper, but I'm kind of just turning it and trying to maneuver it so that it won't be so hard when I try to put it down, because I've never done it with this heavy-duty cardstock. So if we start with this a little roll, I think that'll be good. Okay, because we're gonna see the seams to everything, I'm kind of thinking ahead, and I'm thinking I want to turn this little edge into a little roll so that you can see it from all sides and it's still pretty. So I put a little bit of glue in here. So what do you think? Now what we need to do is remove the glue, the little protective part off. We put our first little roll down, which is going to be right here. We're going to have to figure out how to do that without it being, okay, putting it down. We're just doing it. Here's our first roll. You're keeping the top of this little roll of paper out of the way, and then you put your pencil in the way, and you're bringing down so that you can glue down to the score tape and gluing it. Now that you remove your next pencil and you come back around, and then you're bringing it back down. So you're creating that cute little ruffle with your score tape. Watching where this is going, because you don't want it to get down on your score tape. Just takes a little bit of practice, ladies, but I promise you can do it if I can do it. What is everybody making for dinner? I'm wondering. I've got chicken marinating. Okay, you see how that's working? This one is the one holding it down. Do you see that? I'm trying to make sure everybody can see and follow along. Okay, and then I'm on the end, and I'm pressing down, and I am thinking that the end is going to be that cute little circle roll. So we have this one going down, and then this one is going to be our holding it up, and then this one is going to be going down, and then this part is going to be our little cute little roll that goes in a circle. So I'm kind of cutting off an inch, and then we're going to roll it in to be our finished end. Okay, so now we have this cute little ruffle outside, and we have these little edges here that we're gonna have to figure out what to do with. Let's not do anything to it right this minute. A bow. Bows hide all kind of loveliness. Look at that. So let's not do anything to that little piece yet, because we have a plan of hiding things. So is that not the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen? And of course, it never just stops there. Remember, I'm kind of adding this here to kind of give it a little finishing touch. We'll put that away. We will build this right here. Okay. Now I'm going to put some glue down right on the edge of my gold. This is the ATG glider, and I get my refills from tape, jungle tape. They're reasonably priced. Okay, so now I'm going to put the green right on top into these areas. I think I like the green right into that little crevice surface here. And I kind of like that, just like that. Look at that. The pearl green is just beautiful. And the gold. I'm going to stop right there because we have so many other pages to decorate. So I don't want to put it too high up. Okay, so here we are. We're going to glue this again. And this feels quite heavy. So I'm going to use score tape again. I want to do. And I want to put it to where the little triangles are just barely covering the edge of the purple. So one little, what I'm calling a fleur-de-lis right there, one of those little leaves is going to be in the purple is what I'm deciding here now. So one little fleur-de-lis leaf is sitting on there, right there. I pull the string a little, or the little back ending of the tape, and I'm putting down. Pull this one. I work in reverse, and I'm going to trim with my Tim Holtz scissors the piece that I don't want it to be showing. There we go. Follow the basket or the purse and cut. There we go. Okay, so here we are. We have our basket, our first embellishment down with our basket. We have the little rolls or the ruffles here. I'm not going to worry about what we're going to do back here yet until we're done. The base of our page is right here, and then this goes right on top. Our basket of loveliness is going to go right here. And now what I'd like to work on is the background. I would like to do some of these little leftovers around the edges. I feel like this little trim, this little frame that we have here is just a little bit too simple, because a little bit more is a little bit better because it's a little bit more. So what I'm kind of looking at is adding some of my leftover pieces of all the pages that we've been making. And so I have it's this paper, purple here. So I kind of like that with the plaid here. The plaid with the flower. I like that. And then maybe I want to double it up with the pink, because I feel we have a lot of purple going on this page. And I love pink, and it's kind of getting left behind. So I think that's what I'd like to do, is double it up. And we need therefore four. Oh, let's start. To start with the pink at the bottom. I use the ATG tape. There we go. And remember that this is going to be on the inside, so not all of it is going to be visible. So it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. So how much do we want to show? More or less? I'm thinking more. So makes a really pretty little scallop around each little indentation here. Okay, we have one. Now we need 4 more. because we're framing the entire thing around with this. Okay, we're putting down the tape. Okay, here we have the little corner, and in order for me to miter it, I'm going to put my little scissors right into that corner and cut right through it. May not be the best way to miter a corner. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to do another corner. Now we're going to miter this corner. Now we've got the base going top of my purple paper. So I am going to do wet glue because I like wet glue. Wet glue lets me move things around a little bit, change my mind. I like the way it sits. Here is our base, and say the vines are going in this direction, and this is the sign that that's where my boot. Here is our pocket for our basket. We ended up with right here. Okay, so here's our basket, and here this part is going to go in. And I was just thinking, where am I going to put my little page turners for this? And I got some gorgeous gold foil that it just hurts my heart to punch such a beautiful page. But we are going to turn it into a page pocket turner. And we don't need to put anything on that one, so we only need 2 of them. Because I want them extra fancy, I'm going to put them in the embossing folder that is for the lace. It makes a beautiful impression. That looks beautiful right there. Here is what we end up with. These absolutely gorgeous little, more than beautiful pages. So pretty. So, and that's what we need for these 2 pages. I don't have any specific measurements to tell you of where I'm putting these down at. But this looks like it is about 2 inches from the edge, 2 1/4, and about 2 1/4. Just eyeballing where they go. Okay, so here is the challenge. This is the part that's going to be coming off of your page. So the only part that's going to glue is this little piece right here. So it needs to be very sturdy. So I am doubling it up. I'm not just putting wet glue down. I'm also using our score tape. So I'm taking off the score tape in one corner, and then the score tape on the other corner. And then we're going to eyeball where we want our little basket to sit. Okay, so what I've done here is put this one down, and then this page is going to be coming up. What I did here is I pinched in the little tiny bit of the roll that we did so that we're nice and creased so that that doesn't stick out. Okay, so here is that piece. So we have this one little flap opening, then we have another little page opening, then we have another little page opening. Okay, now right here is where this one is going to sit. We're having that sit right there, and you're slowly pulling on it, not letting it move, slowly pulling on it. There we go. And there we have it sitting. All because I wanted this side of the paper to show instead of this side. Heaven. Okay. And we need to put glue in there. Very nice that I have this long, thin applicator to do glue. There we go. Look at that. That's our little basket booklet. So you're opening it up this way. You're opening it up this way. There we go. And then this last one is our pocket. So this one as a decorative feature. And I'm going to do some faux. Let's try it. That's all we can do. Because if we mess it up, that just means we have to add an extra layer. So I am going to my somewhat center. Tuck in that little end. Take this part off, and we're going to use our little no-sew ribbon magic here. Tucking it in. Okay, and then this little piece needs to get tucked in. And here we have our little basket. I like the little paper flowing around, and I think we will make a bigger bow on the top. Wouldn't that be just gorgeous? There we go. There's our basket. Okay, so here's our basket, our bow. Our page opens up like so. Here we are. And this is going to be our pocket to put all our lovely stuff in it. And what do we have left we need to do? We need to put magnets on the Okay, see, that will hold it. So I have one on that page, I have one on the others on the inside. So now let's go do one more on the other side. And we're putting it on the inside pocket, about an inch down, because we don't want to get the ruffle involved in the magnet part of things, because it'll just be too thick. There we go. Okay, so now these are on this side. What I do is a kiss type of stamping. I put a little tiny glue on my magnet, and then I bring it in and I kiss that paper so I know where it's supposed to go. And then I take this magnet off and put it right back where that little spot is. And then I put the Sudoku tape, score tape, right on top of it. And then this one is going to go on the inside, and we do the same thing. Tiny little glue. I bring it in to do a little kiss. Then it leaves me a little mark on this side. Get a little score tape, take it off, put it right over that little spot, and put my tape right on top. So whatever picture is going to go on here, or whatever type of decoration, it's going to be able to be glued in place. There we go. That is nice and secure. I like that. Okay, so now let's do the same thing on the other side. Lovely. So here is our sweet little basket with the cute little ruffles, and we open it up. Okay, and we open up this one. This is our floating page, which is perfect, and here we have perfect little spaces for loveliness. We need lots and lots of decoration. Okay, let's work on that. Some trim around here, some trim on all these little edges. I think that would be just so much fun. Little trim around here. Some little gold squares or other squares would be absolutely wonderful. Okay, so here I am. I have been playing with flowers. I have been making a little collage. I used a rosette to make the purple stand out on this page here. And then I added a flower, a flourish underneath, and then the little love here sign. And I'm kind of thinking I'm going to put it kind of on this corner and add some little gold flowers to the end. I made some little bows for this side. I think that kind of finishes the basket. I think I might also add maybe some little flowers underneath here to kind of give it a little gold touch. I have just the right amount of flowers there. So let's see how that works. If we add that right in that area, little flowers on this side, and hot glue them. Okay, and then let's get that part done. This is the one we're making right here. Isn't that just so cute? Okay, so now I'm adding this right here. There we go. Added it to this side, and then I'm going to move it over to this side. Okay, so now I have one side right here, one side right here, and now we're going to do glue all the way around. Okay, now we're going to do one of these cute little roses right on it. And now we're putting this right on that spot. And so the rose works as a center. And we're doing the exact same thing to the other side, because that's going to keep it really nice and secure. So that way it looks beautiful on both sides. Okay, so now we have this gorgeous little tags. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous little cute tags. Now I think it would be beautiful if we added some gold leaves to this. Put a little gold leaf in there just for fun, because that's just beautiful. Just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. There we go. So we have our finished page. Thank you so much for sticking in here with me. Okay, so now we have our finished page. I had a challenge trying to figure out what type of tag I wanted to put in here in the middle. What I ended up using was a little bit of the ephemera that came a tag inside, and then I put a little bit. I didn't like the way the white, stark white looked, so when I reversed this, so I used some coordinating flower print to kind of make myself a little tag, a little spot to turn into my little title page, date. We ended up using approximately 5 pages or 12 by 12 pages that we need. Coordinating package, or we have one for the outside frame, and then the inside frame is going to be what you use for all these little tags, okay? And then we ended up with 2 12 by 12s for the 4-page basket that we have inside. We need some rosette paper that might be coordinating or something like that. That's why I'm saying about 5 of them. And of course, the ruffle and the coordinating little strips, these are all negatives from my previous pages or previous projects. Always keep and hold on to all of those things. Okay, and then when I open it up, my first page that comes out, it's a little gold strip. This part right here are little negatives. Okay, and so then we have the next page here. We have our magnets. So I ended up using 2, 4, and 6. So we have 6 magnets that are about half the size of a little dime. And I get my magnets from KG Magnets. I love those little magnets. Yes, 6 might be overkill. You might probably only need 3, but I like it that way. Once you put more and more photos on here, you need something stronger. Once you put more paper in here, or photos, or ephemera, or maybe you want one of your tags not to be in the very back. You might want it to be in the inside, and then therefore there you go, you have your tag that's going to hold on that side. You don't, okay? So 6 magnets is what I use. Here we go. This is the Stampin' Up! Punch that I love to use, and we use the embossing folder that coordinates to this little die, okay? And then these are, again, all negatives that are from previous projects. Here's a purple one with a pretty little pink one right on top. You can add more. And then the last page here, which is our pocket page, and our little negative here, more negatives and a little pink sticking out. I love the way this little pink one is, and I hadn't used that very much, and it's actually the pink part that comes out of the negative for this part right here. That's what this is, and this little strip from here. So then we have our negative here. This is our little strip, and then there's a little purple one here, and we end up for the rosettes, the rosette tag photos. Okay, and then this one was just a little scrap from one of my other pieces, and then I put a little gold strip, and then this one was ruffle, fits right there. That was just a little leftover piece. And then this one is one of the 5x7 mats that comes with the kit. With this, here we go. Now we end up with lots of gorgeous little tags. I love the way that little rosette kind of hangs out. It coordinates with the rosette that's right here. You can have different sides of it looking, peeking out. The last thing that I put on, we hot glued the little ribbons to this, and we are all set. Hey, thank you so much for doing this with me. I appreciate you guys all hanging in here. This is a very long tutorial. I have never done one this long, so I hope you enjoy it. This is Martha saying goodbye, and please go out there and make some memories so we can put them on paper. Thank you so much, and have a great one. Bye.